Hello. Welcome to my office. It's kind of a combination Yara room office. This side is the office, that side with the bunny head and all the decorations is for Yara. Yara, if you're watching, Omi loves you. So let's read, guys. We're on chapter 6 of book 2 called Hundreds of People. We didn't quite finish the entire chapter 6. It's only got a few pages, so we might be able to do 6 and 7. Let's see. Um, I'm making sure I'm on the right channel. I've got people here. Hey, Farid, I forgot to go on and tell y'all. Hi, Carol. Carol Bassam. I just realized the name of that. I forgot to tell y'all on Discord that I was going live, but you know me, I just got in the mood. I thought I wasn't going to. I was kind of tired, and then I decided to read. So, hi, Mackenzie. Hi. Hey, Adam. Hi, Maya. It's names that I start to recognize. I'm glad y'all are here. Summer has begun. If you go to my Instagram, I've made a great reading place for myself this summer. I was out there reading today. I have a new book. Oh, I wish I brought it with me. It's by Katie Storino. Um, and it is really, if you are a teenage girl or if you're a teenage boy that's got some body images, I realize y'all's world has changed a lot since my generation. But I would highly recommend it. It's called Body Talk. It's in bookstores. I got it off of Amazon. It's only hardback, but it is such a cool book. And I will, if I do another read, I will make sure to show it in the next live read. It's colorful, it's bright, it's not heavy in text, it's got a lot of illustrations, and it's really body positive. And it's about those voices in our head that society tell us that if we happen to be a middle school girl that wasn't that perfect shape that is defined by I don't know who determines it's the perfect shape, that girls should be little and petite and they should have perfect teeth and perfect skin and not too big ears but not too little ears, like just everything has to be, you know, perfect. If you not aren't that in middle school is hell. So it's a really good book. If you can get those scripts out of your head while you're young and just say, my body is here to help me do the things I want to do in life and I want to accomplish in life. And being perfect doesn't mean I'm going to have a perfect life. Having a perfect body doesn't mean I'm going to have a perfect life. We craft our lives. It was very inspiring, and I'm about halfway through it and just got it. So found a great reading spot outside in my backyard, got some comfy chairs, a big umbrella, bring my lemonade out there, and just been great. So I hope you're finding your summer reading spot because it's summer reading, at least in the South. I know those of you up north may still be in school, but school's out for the summer. Yay! Adam, oh, I've got notes here. Carol says, I want to say thank you so much. I had a book to read and you helped me follow up with it. Yay. I'm glad you got it done. Preston said, I am doing well, Preston. Thank you. I'm feeling much better. I still have some lingering weird symptoms of COVID, but I have my vaccination and life is pretty much back to normal. Adam says I helped him a lot with A Separate Piece and The Kite Runner, a double reader, finishing on Montana 1948. I don't know that one by Larry Watson. Sorry, that's not on my list. You had to do that one on your own, but it sounds like you've done it. Farid, it is interesting. It's a great book. Look it up. It's really just fun to read. It's really colorful. It's like back being a child. I hated giving up children's books because I love the illustrations. Um, and Haley helped me so much. English course. What book, Haley? I like to know what y'all read with me because I'm surprised some of my short stories almost never get looked at. I had somebody the other day tell me they were reading one of my nonfictions that I never finished. So it made me think, well, maybe I should go finish it. Farid, I got Pfizer, 2 doses, and my son got Pfizer too. I think all my family got Pfizer. Maybe that's just what was here in Louisiana. I didn't have a preference. It's just what was available. So I hope you guys are getting vaccinated too and be safe. I heard in California, they're like giving away kind of a lottery. If you've gone and gotten vaccinated, your name goes into this huge drawing for $15 million that they're going to split between people. But there you go, California. That's an incentive, huh? All right, let's read. So we left off where Mr. Lorry is visiting A Thousand Splendid Suns. Well, I don't know how well I understand the political stuff, Haley, but it's very complicated. 100 on the project. I'm so excited for you. Well, I won't give anything away if you haven't finished reading it, but that's good on you then that you found a tool to help you, and you've navigated it and you've learned. And that's the key, isn't it? That you're learning and you're learning how to learn. So Mr. Lorry is visiting the Manettes, and he's worried about Dr. Manette and his kind of unusual ways. And so Miss Pross is talking about that. Touch that string, and he instantly changes for the worse. I think they're referring to the tool bench that he works on, the shoe bench. Better leave it alone. Oh, touch that string, anything about being in prison, like refer to it. In short, must leave it alone, like or no like. Sometimes he gets up in the dead of the night and will be heard by us overhead there, walking up and down in his room. Ladybird has learnt to know then that his mind is walking up and down in his old prison. She hurries to him, and they go on together. Now, who's Ladybird? Those of y'all that have been reading along. Remember, it's important to stop and touch base with your characters. So who's Ladybird? Miss Pross has that nickname for her. It's Lucy Manette, the daughter of Dr. Manette, who was in prison, who's a little bit out of his mind sometimes. So that means Lucy, when she hears her daddy walking in the middle of the night, she goes and walks with him. They go up and down, up and down, up and down until he is composed, like until he gets out that panic attack. But he never says a word of the true reason for his restlessness to her, and she finds it best not to hint at it to him. In silence, they go walking up and down together, till her love and company have brought him to himself. Notice how much, I've said this before, how much repetition Dickens uses, and it's for emphasis, right? Very good to talk to you. I talked to you on Discord, so I'm glad to know you're well. And you have a great weekend, too. It's Memorial Day here in Louisiana, so we're off Monday. Notwithstanding Miss Pross's denial of her own imagination, there was a perception of the pain of being monotonously haunted by one sad idea in her repetition of the phrase, walking up and down, which testified to her possessing such a thing. It's Dickens' way of showing that Miss Pross is really preoccupied with this idea. It was such a curious corner in its acoustical properties, such a peculiar ear of a place, that as Mr. Lorry stood at the open window looking for the father and daughter whose steps he heard, he fancied they would never approach. Not only would the echoes die away as though the steps had gone, but echoes of other steps that never came would be heard in their stead, in their place. We don't talk that way anymore. And would die away for good when they seemed close at hand. However, father and daughter did at last appear, and Miss Pross was ready at the street door to receive them. Miss Pross was a pleasant sight, albeit wild and red and grim, taking off her darling's bonnet when she came upstairs and touching it with the ends of her handkerchief. Now, I remember reading this last time, so if you already read the last chapter, just skip ahead. But I marked the place in my book, and clearly I marked it incorrectly. Sorry about that. Her darling was a pleasant sight too, embracing her and thanking her and protesting against her taking so much trouble for her, which last she dared to do playfully, or Miss Pross, sorely hurt, would have retired to her own chamber and cried. The doctor was a pleasant sight too, looking on at them and telling Miss Pross how she spoiled Lucy. In accents and with eyes that had as much spoiling in them as Miss Pross had, and would have had more if it were possible. Everybody loves Lucy Manette. She's apparently just a character that is really kind and really sweet, and everybody, like the father loves her, Miss Pross loves her, everybody that meets her just loves her. Mr. Lorry was a pleasant sight too. It's a happy day. Beaming at all this in his little wig and thanking his bachelor stars for having lighted him in his declining years to a home. But no hundreds of people came to see the sights, and Mr. Lorry looked in vain for the fulfillment of Miss Pross's prediction. Dinner time, and still no hundreds of people. I'm trying to see if I can skip because I remember reading this. In the arrangements of the little household, Miss Pross took charge of the lower regions. She worked in the servants' area and always acquitted herself marvelously. Her dinners, of a very modest quality, were so well cooked. So remember, she goes shopping. She learns how to do French cuisine because they're French. I'm going to skip this because I know I've read it. A pressing day, and Lucy proposed that the wine should be carried out. They're going to go outside and have a picnic. Hundreds of people still did not present themselves. I'm skipping around. I'm on page 89, the third paragraph down. Dr. Manette received him kindly. Mr. Darnay has come, and so did Lucy. But now remember, Charles Darnay was the one that was on trial for being a spy, and the Manettes helped get him, and Sidney Carton, the attorney, they all helped get him free. The doctor was in his best condition and looked especially young. The resemblance between him and Lucy was very strong at such times, and as they sat side by side, she leaning on his shoulder, I'm really starting to think, did I read this whole chapter? Let me look. I don't have my phone here. Let me look on YouTube and see how far I said I went. I thought I went to 86. I just hate to read the same thing over again because I could be reading something new. But my computer is slow. If somebody is on my YouTube channel and has faster internet connection, then look up and see my last read. Yeah, it's not connecting. I'm sorry, guys. Yep, book page 87 is where no, that's the one I'm on now. Live now. No, I want to be. Oh, look at that crazy picture. No, my channel. Well, we're just wasting more time. Thanks for your patience. Let me see if anybody said what. Your last what? I'm looking for my last read. 26B is what I'm on now. That's the live one. But I'm trying to, hey, thank you for telling me that, by the way. I'm trying to see where, the tale of 26B, page 87. Did I do it? I did it twice, apparently. No, that's crazy. It's already up there. I don't understand technology, guys. So I'll just kind of skip through because I hate to redo. Yeah, it's all the same chapter. Sorry about that. We'll just skip ahead. It looks like I've done 2 of these lame MC, but thank you for participating. Thank you for playing along. I remember doing the foreshadowing. He recovered himself so quickly. Give me a minute to kind of see. Right now I'm on the top of page 91.
Welcome back to Reading on Sunday.
Now what have I done here?
We are still in A Tale of Two Cities.
Turn that off. We don't need to hear me talking to you now. Like on 2 FPS right now. I don't know what that means, 2 FPS. Y'all forget how old I am. It's got a lag, doesn't it? Reading Kite Runner, Egnor. I'm so glad. I loved the Kite Runner. That was good. D. Lamar, it's been a while since I've seen you. So we start off frames per second. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in a different part of my house, and my son is live streaming too because he teaches English to people, and he's online doing that. And I'm wondering if we can't both stream at the same time. But that's maybe a good reason that it's a redo, because you have a better quality of it from the other read. So let's try it. Tea time and Miss Pross making tea with another fit of the jerks upon her, and yet no hundreds of people. Mr. Carton had lounged, but he made only 2. So they just have 2 people there visiting, the Carton and Darnay. The night was very sultry, like humid, that although they sat with doors and windows open, they were overpowered by heat. When the tea table was done with, they all moved to one of the windows and looked out into the heavy twilight. Lucy sat by her father. Darnay sat beside her. Carton leaned against a window. The curtains were long and white, and some of the thunder gusts that whirled into the corner caught them up to the ceiling and waved them like spectral wings. This is an interesting comment Egnor has said. They're comparing Kite Runner and Hamlet. Interesting. Now I've got to ponder that. So you've got Hamlet is trying to avenge his father, and Kite Runner is about a boy who wants to be approved of by his father. And in essence, the fathers have given him dictates to, not necessarily to avenge them, but they're very driven. They're very motivated by these fathers and things that had happened in their fathers' lives. The innocently wronged character would be Hassan and Ophelia. You know, they're both supporters of the lead character of the protagonist, and yet they're mistreated. Um, that's a tough. I don't know. I can't think of many other comparisons off the top of my head. Like if I really revisited Hamlet, like there's the play within the play. You've got this as a writer in The Kite Runner who's retelling his own story. Eknor, what are you thinking? What thoughts, comparisons are you lining up with for that? That is an interesting prompt, comparative essay. Darnay sat beside her. Carton leaned against a window. The curtains were long and white, and so I already read that. The raindrops are still falling, large, heavy, and few, said Dr. Manette. It comes slowly. It comes surely, said Carton. They spoke low, as people watching and waiting mostly do, as people in a dark room watching and waiting for lightning always do. There was a great hurry in the streets of people speeding away to get shelter before the storm broke. The wonderful corner for echoes resounded with the echoes of footsteps coming and going, yet not a footstep was there. A multitude of people and yet a solitude, said Darnay, when they had listened for a while. It is not impressive, said Mr. Darnay. Is it not impressive, said Mr. Darnay. Let me try again. Is it not impressive, Mr. Darnay? Asked Lucy. Sometimes I've sat here of an evening until I fancied, but even the shade of a foolish fancy makes me shudder tonight when all is so black and solemn. The storm makes him feel nervous. Let us shudder too. We may know what it is. It will seem nothing to you. Such whims are only impressive as we originate them, I think. They are not to be communicated. She has a premonition. I have sometimes sat alone here of an evening, listening until I've made the echoes out to be the echoes of all the footsteps that are coming by and by into our lives. There is a great crowd coming one day into our lives. If that be so, Sidney Carton struck in his moody way. The footsteps were incessant. That's very much foreshadowing there. Just kind of take a note of that if you're an AP. Hamlet, you didn't like it. It wasn't my favorite Shakespeare. I still like Macbeth more. Ignore, we're also doing a comparative essay about two characters, Ophelia and Gertrude, and the title is The Representation of Women. That sounds interesting. But Gertrude is a character in Hamlet, right? So you're not comparing it against A Kite Runner. Graphic essay. That is, my kids in my school didn't love graphic novels. Romeo and Juliet, but I could see, it says my connection is unstable. So sorry about that. I'm still here. Or y'all think I won't be able to record in this space? It's just not good quality. Just one more page to go. 2 essays. I got it. Yeah, I see that. I'm so sorry. Both comparative. Gotcha. That's it. So we're talking about these footsteps of hundreds of people that could come through their lives and the impact that they're going to have. The footsteps were incessant and the hurry like unending. And the hurry of them became more and more rapid. The corner echoed and re-echoed with the tread of feet, some as it seemed under the windows, some as it seemed in the room, some coming, some going, some breaking off, some stopping altogether in the distant streets, and not one within sight. Are all these footsteps destined to come to all of us, Miss Manette? Or are we to divide them among us? Are all these footsteps for just this group, or are we going to break off as individuals? 6 math assignments, 2 books, graphic and regular essays. Are you in some kind of accelerated program? I'm so glad not to be in school anymore. Although work has a lot of, I don't love everything I have to do at work. And that's what you can think about homework. Like when you get into the real world, you're going to get assignments from your bosses that you don't want to do, but you have to do them. Are all these footsteps destined to come to us, or are we going to be divided? I don't know, Mr. Darnay. I told you it was a foolish fancy, but you asked for it. When I have yielded myself to it, I've been alone, and then I've imagined them, the footsteps of the people who are come in my life and my father's. I take them into mine, said Carton. I ask no questions and make no stipulations. There is a great crowd bearing down upon us, Miss Manette, and I see them by the lightning. He added the last words after there had been a vivid flash which had shown him lounging in the window. And I hear them, he added again, after a peal of thunder. Here they come, fast, fierce, and furious. It was the rush and roar of rain that he typified, and it stopped him, for no voice could be heard in it, like one of those strong rains where you have to talk really loud over it. A memorable storm of thunder and lightning broke with that sweep of water, and there was not a moment's interval in crash and fire and rain until after the moon rose at midnight. The great bell of St. Paul's was striking one in the cleared air when Mr. Lorry, escorted by Jerry, high-booted and bearing a lantern, set forth on the passage to Clerkenwell. Well, I am so embarrassed. I read this whole thing already. I may just delete this version because the quality's not good anyway. Yeah, I've read the whole thing. Silly, crazy me. So that's why you need to bookmark things. Next is Monsignor in Town. And I had it been, but I guess it got lost when I put it in my suitcase. I'm at the best school in my state, if that counts. Well, they push you there. Doing a lot of work doesn't necessarily mean it's the best work, but digging deep and learning. I mean, the question is, did you master what you accomplished? Did you grow? Did you learn? Did you get curious? That's what I think education is all about. You don't want to delete this one, but I mean, I have a better version of this same amount being read, but I'll leave it because I'm probably too lazy to delete it. I want to see it, Lame. I'm going to look that up. I love to learn about schools. That's what I do now. I work for the Department of Education in my state, and I'm always learning to see what other states are doing so that we can do it better. Not better than the state, but we can improve and grow. You guys are awesome. Thanks for interacting with me. I always like that. I'm going to move locations, and if I have time, I'm going to try and read chapter 7, and I want to do Fahrenheit 451. So no worries. Public charter school. I do some of charter work in Louisiana. And yes, I am in Louisiana. That's right. And unfortunately, our ranking is nowhere near the top of the state, but we're working on that. And that doesn't mean we're not in Louisiana. It just means our system isn't comparable to some other systems, and we're going to get better. There's room to grow. I'm having a difficult time coming up with the thesis. I already read that book. So good. Fahrenheit 451. I forget what I say sometimes. I'm having a difficult time coming up with the thesis. Well, my suggestion, Ignore, on that is think about in any way what you're trying to say. Just get the words on the paper. Ugly, don't make it perfect. And then once you have something, ask yourself, what are the supports to that idea? Make sure you got your points in your supports, because the supports need to be mentioned in the thesis statement. And then clean it up, make it more clear, get rid of extra words. And if you want, you're always welcome to send me your thesis statement on Best Tutor Friend Instagram, and you can direct message me there, and I will make suggestions, help you kind of think it through. Wishing you, got to put my glasses on to read this, Ignore. I have been watching you from 8th grade. Wow, you're an old friend. That's awesome. Mimi, she lives in Louisiana. I love Mimi's. I'm an Omi. I'm not a Mimi. What part of Louisiana is she in? Hey, Sitar. Oh, Sitar. I'll wait, Lane, for you to answer, and then I will shut this down, move locations, and see if we can get a better connection. And remember, you guys can always direct DM me on Instagram, Best Tutor Friend. And I usually put pictures of like our lives or what we're doing. My little Omi. I love to put her in sometimes. Kentwood. That's you know who else is from Kentwood, huh? Britney Spears. It is a nice little place. Oh, it's small town living, but it's close to New Orleans. I live in a suburban community. In fact, I was in New Orleans all this week working. So just ignore, I'll look for it. Sometimes it takes a while to come to me. I don't know why, but I will look for it and I will answer you, I promise. All right, guys, I'm going to close it out there. That's cool, Lame. That's really cool, isn't it? I'm going to thank y'all for being here. Subscribe if you haven't already. ring the bell so you know when I randomly come on, and look for my next live read because I'll probably do another one tonight. Take care, and I will read to you next time. See ya.